It surrounds us. It's everywhere. Tonight, you will hear from the people who live and work within these highly active locations, all in the efforts to discover America's most haunted. With your host, ghost hunter and author, Dan Terry.
Good evening, boys and ghouls. I am Dan Terry, your ghost host with the most haunted, and we're going back to a really haunted place. This is a special episode for me. And you guys, especially the folks, remember me from Missouri. I used to be there and moved to North Carolina. Moving is tough. I had a good name, a good reputation in Missouri. I had a lot of ghost hunts, a lot of real neat stuff going on, just almost all the time. Came up here and, well, starting another, working on another book for this area, and still go back to Missouri for ex-con and all the stuff. I got a couple lectures there in October. But one of the things that I've thrived on is other teams inviting me along with them. There's Kansas Paranormal Research Society, Ghost Tours of Kansas. There was, another one out of Kansas whose name escapes me at the moment. There was St. Louis Paranormal Research Society. There was, so many different groups would call me up and say, hey, we could use a hand. Could you come and help us? And I got into so many neat places. And some people out here in the mountains have done the same. They are really a lot of very sweet, kind people here who've reached out to this misplaced Missouri ghost hunter. I want to mention David Scott Worley down in West Virginia, who just passed away a couple of weeks ago. But I lectured for him in West Virginia 3 times, 2 investigations. He'd invite me to come to a public investigation he was doing and then hand me a team and make me walk off with them. And great guy. And this group I'm going to bring back, and they've been here before. You'll remember Michelle and Kim from Stokes County Paranormal. And they have invited me into a couple of amazing places. And one's a courthouse. You guys know how I am with courthouses and jails. So I want to bring Kim and Michelle back on so we can talk about the courthouse in Danbury. I guess that's the old Stokes County Courthouse, right?
Yep.
And what goes on there now? If I remember right, it's just school board meetings now?
Mm-hmm. It is home to the Stokes County School Board at the moment, as well as, School and Water Conservation, as well as the Farm Service Agency for the county. Okay.
And how did you all manage to find out this place was this haunted?
Lots of investigating, Dan.
Well, you say that. The first time I walked in, I thought they were going to pick me up and throw me out the door.
So we gained access to the courthouse when we began the Danbury Ghost Tours years ago. Or we're on our 3rd year this year.
3rd year now.
So that was one of the locations, and we knew that when we built those tours that we wanted them to be different than a typical ghost tour. So we kind of fashioned those off of things that Kimberly and I liked and didn't like about ghost tours and ghost walks. And part of that was providing people with evidence that we have captured ourselves during investigations, along with stories from the community. So we began doing preliminary investigations at that courthouse about a month. Was it even a month?
That one was the last one we got into.
Might have been 2 weeks before our ghost tour started. Okay. So we did multiple investigations up until the ghost tour started and was able to share some evidence we captured during those times on those tours. So.
How did you manage to get permission to do this? Was there pushback?
There wasn't too much. It was more of getting on their schedule because it is a county building. The way we got access to it was actually through the Stokes County Arts Council. In our county, we are a part of the government. So we have a great connections here. Actually, all these buildings that we run our tours through are government buildings.
Okay.
So,
So that's why you'll see on
it's a lot of the connection
on
type
our
of thing happening
promotions that it's
in partnership with certain buildings.
or in partnership with the Stokes County Arts Council
Yeah.
because they're our main. That's our home base. So.
And when you do that, proceeds usually go to helping with the upkeep of the buildings, right?
Most of our proceeds, aside from the ghost tours and the investigations, like when we do raffles and whatnot, a portion of it goes to the Stokes County Arts Council Scholarship Fund. And we actually fund young artists as our day jobs are artists.
All right. Well, you're doing good with the money, and that means a lot. But I want to get on to at least one of the videos, because when I was going through all the evidence you sent me, the 4 hours of evidence you sent me, and some of the best I know is yet to come.
Oh yeah, it's not finished, Dan. There's a lot more to come.
Part 4 was when everything was going off and going crazy. But when you sent me the several hours of it, trying to pick out some really neat parts gets hard. I mean, I was wait, okay, I'm going to stop here. Oh, I can't stop here. Listen to that. I'm going to stop here. Now, no, 6 minutes long. I can't have that. So I'm going to show some of this because I want to get to it. And the first one I marked as Estes. It was when Kimberly first started the Estes part.
Now, Kimberly has on the headphones. You know how these work. You speak to her through those headphones and she can hear you. And then she's going to tell me. Can you step forward, get close to her, and speak?
How many?
Did you see them all light up?
Saw that.
Thank you for that. Can you also, I know I'm asking a lot, but can you also manipulate that flashlight I set on that bench next to the cat ball you've been playing with and make it turn on? Okay.
Mommy?
I was going to ask, are we dealing with a child here? Because they want to play with the lights.
Look up.
Look up.
I thought I saw something up there.
On the right-hand side, Shadow? I mean, up on the ceiling?
No, in the balcony area in the center. It looks like there's something up there.
I had seen the Shadow Man earlier and again later. And I believe by then, Michelle, you'd seen him also. And then what was the name of the fellow who was there with us?
His name is Keith.
Keith saw it. And it was always up there. And I know the first thing you tried to do is debunk it because the window on the right side when a car went by would make a shadow move.
Yep.
But he said, no, it's way over here and right in the center. So what was you thinking? What was you hearing, Kim, when this is going on? You're just hearing the voice. Are you hearing the voice of a little girl or just the words?
I want to say when I heard that one, because most of the time when I do these, I don't fully remember what all I hear afterwards until I hear myself speaking this going, oh, that was this voice or that was this voice. I think that time it was a man, like a younger gentleman.
Well, some of the times when that happened, your voice almost became childlike. It almost sounded like a little girl, right up to having a little, smart butt attitude about it. And so I was assuming you were hearing it and repeating as a child, a little girl child might have said it. Have you seen the shadow person since then?
Have we been back since we were?
I don't think we've been back. I've been back in the building during the day, but I don't think we've been back to investigate.
I think the next night you were back there.
We did. We did a live stream.
That's right. We did with the nurses.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he was seen during that time too.
And I remember you sent me the live stream. I watched it, and there was something that went on there, but I cannot remember what it was now because there was so much going on the night before. That's hard to remember.
Right.
Yep.
All right. Let me give this next one around. The shadow and an EVP. Somebody saw the shadow person.
I've been here.
Oh, I'm sure you have. I know you were flashing the lights for me. Thank you.
That was multiple lights.
I did.
That was 2 with 1 in the middle that didn't flash.
Murder.
I've seen it.
Anybody else just see a shadow in the balcony?
I did.
You did?
And it wasn't a
Yep,
car.
you did.
Oh, God.
It's me.
I saw it because I was waiting for the
Up
rest of the
there?
car lights. Yes, I was waiting for the rest of the
Yep.
car lights to go by.
It was kind of thin. Just like a boo.
But there was no car.
No.
Again, you're trying to debunk it right from the beginning, which is awesome, but there was no car come by that time. And I got to tell folks, it was raining like cats and dogs out there. rough night. And by the time I got home, the stars were out. Oh, mountain weather. Okay, Kim, you were talking. Was that a little boy or a little girl who you was repeating?
That one, I believe, was a boy.
Okay, because I notice your voice changes to more of a childlike voice when you're doing that.
Mm-hmm.
And you really don't remember that while you're afterwards.
Yeah, right afterwards, I typically do not fully remember what I'm saying.
Okay. All right. Let's see. We got a few minutes here. There is, let's see. That was the shadow and EVP, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's try lights on request.
And I got touched again. Ever so slightly. Whoever's trying to get my attention, I appreciate it because I asked for it. But can you kindly stop touching me and set off my devices instead? I know you were very gentle when you done it, but it's kind of, don't want you to do that anymore. Oh, cat ball on the front bench.
Yep.
Set it off for me again. Either one. Any of the cat balls. Okay, thank you. It's perfect.
Very nice.
I'm getting a headache, just a note, on my right hand side. Is it you trying to affect me? Is it you trying to get my attention? Okay.
Yeah, all right.
All right. This is a very interesting interaction. Usually it doesn't focus on me.
I don't know why they don't focus on you with that southern accent. God, I don't know how any child could not mind you. So what was we looking at there? What do you think was going on?
I think something was trying to get my attention. Of course, like you said, I had been asking, you can come close to me. It's okay. But then it just kind of confirmation that something was there trying to communicate with me. That was what I got touched 2 or 3 times that night.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and at one point you're just got feeling really bad. And,
well, that was the start of it when I noted the headache.
Uh-huh.
And then eventually I got really hot and we had to leave the courtroom. So
does that happen often?
No.
Well, that's happened 2 or 3 times.
A couple of times, but not like every time.
Yeah.
Sometimes we get hot spots in there that last briefly. Sometimes we get cool spots. This was kind of a long-lasting hot spot, so to speak, that I was having.
How was your stomach upset or anything else?
Nope. I was just feeling really, really hot, and I was getting that headache over my right eye.
And does, excuse me, does that hot feeling happen there, or does it not happen anywhere else, or what's
I don't think we've experienced that anywhere else. That
No.
doesn't happen in any of our other locations.
No, not like just regular, just little cold spots and stuff we read through. Nothing like that.
So it was worse than usual by far.
Yep.
Is it because there was people there that they're not used to?
I don't think so, because we have a lot of people going through there during tour season.
It's even happened to me during a tour.
Okay.
Where I had to fully leave the room and couldn't even go back in.
But that night was very active, Dan. And
it was.
You may have had something to do with that, because typically when I do a recap video, there might be, I don't know, 20 minutes worth.
Yeah.
I've already sent you way more than that.
Well, let's see. I know one was 45 minutes, one was like 50 something, and I don't remember the other ones.
And those are cut down from,
yeah.
That's still just that first little camera sitting. That's not, I stopped sending once I put out that second camera when the music box was going off. So that's as far as I got sending you stuff.
And did I get I think I've got that one with the box, but I don't remember where it
was probably the very end of the last clip, because I didn't actually move on to that camera. I ran out of time.
Okay. Well, let's see what else we can find here. I got the one, I think I've already done the Ghost Agrees. Lights.
And I got touched again. Ever so slightly. Whoever's trying to get my attention, I appreciate it because I asked for it. But can you kindly stop touching me and set off my devices instead? I know you were very gentle when you done it, but it was kind of. Don't want you to do that anymore. Oh, cat ball on the front bench.
Yep.
Set it off for me again. Either one. Any of the cat balls. Okay, thank you. It's perfect.
Very nice.
I'm getting a headache, just a note, on my right hand side. Is it you trying to affect me? Is it you trying to get my attention? Okay.
Yeah. All right.
All right. This is a very interesting interaction. Usually it doesn't focus on me.
I know we'd heard that before, but I had to play it again because it's just so incredible. What have you noticed? The more times you go back to a place, the more playful or the more eager to please they are.
We feel familiar over there. I think that we are familiar to some of the spirits over there, especially the main fellow that I'm sure you heard us talk about. He knows us for sure. Yeah.
Okay. Now, how would you classify that spirit? Is he a good person, or is he rough?
No.
He definitely was not a good person in life, so he's probably not a good person in death.
Right.
She's often described him as a dirty old man. That's the way he comes.
That
he comes through on the headphones. Hey, girl, what you doing? It's typically what he says to her. Which is
anytime a young woman is in the room and they decide to try Estes, that's typically what comes through.
Hey, girl. Yeah.
Now, I know you've done multiple trips there, but you said the history of that building is not that incredible.
It's a long time history, because the original courthouse that was built there would have been in 1849, 1850.
1850.
So the structure that's there now, of course, it's not that original structure. And then they commissioned this one in 1904. So the front half of that building you were in, which contains the courtroom, that's the original part. It was constructed in 1904.
Okay.
And then the wings in the back were added on later on, like the 1940s.
I want to say 43.
And then the government stopped using it as a courthouse in 1970.
I want to say 74.
Yeah.
Have you found any evidence of hangings, executions? I know that was never a jail, so there was no suicides there. But
so, the rumor about it, this is from a person that used to work there, a great friend of mine. They apparently joke with people that the hanging tree used to be outside of the Well, I can look at it right now. The right-hand side of it, if you're looking at the front,
Okay.
it used to be out the window, but there's absolutely no record of it.
But now there are we know that there were gallows because in the Stokes County Heritage book, there is a photo of a hanging.
Okay.
We just don't know specifically where the gallows.
Yeah, they don't know 100% where those were.
Okay. Well, the history then of Stokes County is rather odd. And I know there was a neat history of that building because of the way a guy convinced someone to put it there.
Yeah.
Yep.
What was that story? I love that one.
You want to tell that one?
I sure can.
That was back in 1849.
So probably a little bit before then, 1840s. So the Stokes County Center used to be Germantown, North Carolina, which, as we know now, it's on the very edge of. Part of it is in Stokes, part of it is in Forsyth County. All of Forsyth, the Moravians, Winston-Salem, all of that used to be Stokes County. When the split happened in 1849, they set out to look for a new county center. Now, the geographical center where they were sent is actually where our Life Bright Hospital is.
Okay.
And on the way back, they sent 3 gentlemen on horseback. Let me explain that. They on horseback to this location, and on their way back through, they decided to stop and get a drink at Shackelford's Tavern. It was ran by Samuel Shackelford. Do I have that right?
I think we come across another name, but we think it's Samuel Shackelford.
I think it's Samuel Shackelford. It was definitely Shackelford.
Mm-hmm.
Stopped at his tavern, and he got them. He knew what these men were doing.
Mm-hmm.
He got them drunk enough and offered them a deal on some land. And sure enough, they said, "Sure, we'll take it."
Mm-hmm.
And that's how we got our courthouse where it is now.
So, fun fact, we're actually in that building right now. We're actually filming from the Arts Place.
So we're sitting right where Shackelford's
Tavern would have been in this vicinity.
Okay.
Directly across from the courthouse.
And this is basically, he got them drunk and convinced them to buy his land for an exorbitant amount and build a place right there.
And Dan, that is actually historical records you can find with that story.
Right in our history book.
Okay. I found that story in Wikipedia, but with that, I'm a little iffy. But yeah, I know it's true. All right, let's try another one real quick, and then we'll go to a break. Let's see. Try with this one.
Should we put it in the bin with a
I would say that's where you have the most sex.
Can I sit down with you for just a minute? Look, it went off.
Yes, definitely yes.
Okay, I'm going to have a seat with you. Kimberly, did you see where this happened?
No.
I said, can I sit down and have a seat with you for just a minute? And it lit up.
Sit with them. I'll go under real quick.
Okay, we don't need to start that again. I had a round with them where they just kept turning it on every time before I could even ask a question.
They were really eager to play that night. Do you think the storm might have had something to do with it, the energy?
For sure.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
It was a hell of a storm that night. I was certain I was going to have to bail water out of my old Jeep when I got back out there. So what's your opinion on what we was dealing with on those?
I still think it's just that somebody who's familiar with me specifically, trying to interact with them. I have a feeling it's the child, but part of me is hesitant because the main guy typically tries to trick you into thinking he's somebody else.
Okay.
When the conversation changes, like in Estes or something, you figure out, hey, this is not who I thought it was.
Yeah, I think at one point I was asking questions and trying to determine who he was, and you said he's lying. You just knew he was lying.
You could tell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to step off here for just a second, but I've got a lot more to show, and I'll be back in a few minutes. So y'all hang loose, okay? Wow, guys, I wish you could have seen this. And the video that I'm showing you here isn't the beginning of the stuff that they sent me, the stuff I remember, I saw. The weird part was I went in with 3 cameras and one lasted for, I think 30, 45 seconds, and the others had dead batteries. I had put in new batteries or charged them just before I left the house, and they were dead. Their equipment worked. And I don't know if that was them saying that they didn't want me there, or they didn't want me recording, or they only wanted to give the evidence to their friends. All of that is possible. And speaking of stuff for my friends, would you all watch this? And I will be right back.
The Onyx Network presents a health and wellness spiritually based brand of hemp-derived CBD products made by Hopewell Farm in Harrogate, Tennessee. We apply our Cathara energy work with all of our plants and products. Our products made in small batches with only 2 ingredients of pure hemp, full spectrum crude oil, and coconut-derived MCT oil. Third-party lab tested for potency and legal THC levels with 6 strengths of 1 ounce oil to choose from. Know what you're buying and get what you pay for from Hopewell Farm. Applied directly to a specific area, Hopewell Farm topical salve in 1 ounce and ½ ounce sizes, made with pure hemp crude oil, comfrey extract, and all natural ingredients. Find the Hopewell Farm link and coupon code on the Onyx Network website at onyxnetwork.com. That's Onyx.
The Onyx Network annual XCon is just around the corner, so get your tickets now. XCon is being held October 11th to the 13th, 2024 at the very haunted Oasis Hotel and Convention Center in Springfield, Missouri. Speakers include Scott Nelson, Peter Robbins, Micah Hanks, Mindy Taubfest, Debbie Ziegelmeyer, Dan Terry, Michelle Roos, and more, presenting UFOs, cryptids, and the paranormal. Attend a live ghost hunt and workshops at the hotel, and we're having the annual awards banquet and Mad Hatter costume party. You don't want to miss this conference. Visit unxnetwork.com to register today. That's unxnetwork.com.
Okay, my friends, I know you probably get tired. Some of you get tired of hearing this story, but it's really so much fun. We was at the XCon last year, and I spoke on the first day, and then I had my table along the back wall. So there's a table, there's a little snack table, and then 100, 150 people sitting there watching the speakers, and then the stage. So I was way in the back. They had a couple of big TVs so I could see and hear plainly, but I was sitting next to Michelle Roos, who's the founder of an Iowa-based ghost hunting group, really smart. She was a guest here. And while we're sitting there in the middle of the day, this had to be 11 o'clock in the morning, shadow people are floating across in front of me. Shadow creatures are floating across in front of me. And I'm looking, I don't want to look crazy, but I'm like, Michelle, do you see that? And she said, yeah, shut up. And she watched it too. Everybody was seeing this. And then others said they were seeing the shadow people on the stage while the speakers were talking. At the end of the first 2 days, we had 30 or 40 people who were witnessing this stuff. So we checked with the people who worked there, and they said, well, we thought that's why you came here. You didn't know it was haunted. We've got a guy who suicided. We've got this lady who worked here years and years ago when it was a Howard Johnson's. They just kept naming off all these spirits they have in that place. So this year, for the XCon, aside from my speaking on Friday night, which is called Tales of the Missouri Ghost Hunter, I will be giving out lessons in use of dowsing rods and K2 meters, my 2 favorites. And then Michelle and I will each run separate groups of people. She's going to be talking about other things. I know her lecture, I believe, is about when things go wrong in ghost hunting. And she'll be talking about the use of pendulums, I believe, and other equipment. But we will have different workshops, and then we will go out separately and actually ghost hunt that hotel and try to make contact. So if you're really interested in this, the place was just a little on the crazy side. And speaking of crazy side, let's get back to Stokes County and the Danbury courthouse, because that was nuts. I mean, it's been years since I was at a place that was that active. A good 5-6 years. Well, more than that, probably closer to 8 years. I used to do the John Bush Brewery in Missouri, and that was equally crazy. But I was surprised when you all got me in there and all the stuff was going on.
Yeah, and you may come the next time and not get anything.
Okay. So you're thinking the storm had a lot to do with that.
I do. And also Danbury itself has been very active for those few weeks around that time we were there.
And right now
and
well.
More recently, yes.
We've been
things have picked up.
Messages from different homeowners that are claiming, hey, my activity's picked up. Do you want to hear what I've got? And I'm like, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So are you guys ready to start writing books, or at least an article on the haunts of Danbury?
Oh, well, there's stuff floating around.
Okay.
Stuff floating around in my head.
Yeah, we need to get it out on paper. So you got a lot of interesting stuff going on. Let's grab one of these here real quick and see. I believe this is when, just before you all came in, and guys, they abandoned me. They just walked off. It's like they snuck off. They didn't even tell me. I'm sitting there working on my camera, and suddenly everybody's gone. No, seriously, they went out to take a break, and I want to stay here for a while. The spirits did not talk to me as much as they do them, but I had a few little interesting moments, and here's one of them.
I'll also ask you to keep flashing lights for us when they all get back, because they're enjoying it. Let me ask some more questions, since it's just us here. Yes, I saw that. Thank you. Just us, huh? That's nice of you.
They seem so polite. It's like, hey, let me ask you a question. Sure, go ahead. Shoot. And they were doing the same thing with you all.
Mm-hmm.
What's your best story from there, aside from that night, unless I haven't covered it yet?
Probably mine would be one of the early investigations we did before we started the ghost tours, and we were doing test runs so we could get our timing and our script right, and we brought in some family members. In that 1 hour span, we caught I don't know how many Class A EVPs, which you played on the first show where we were on with you, but that's when we picked up the little girl saying, "Please don't go."
What's the matter with them?
The farmer accent saying, "What's the matter with them?" That to me I was not expecting all that from this place, but my theory is there's a lot of energies. It holds a lot, and somebody actually was coming in asking, "Hey, is there something here that wants to communicate?" And we caught all that in a span of an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think a lot of the spirits that we deal with are just ones who are lonely and want to communicate?
I don't know so much lonely. I just think that some are eager that, hey, a living person is actually asking, or, this person may be able to hear what I'm trying to say, or.
Okay. And your EVPs, the ones that I captured are fair. I mean, that one says "me too," so that's pretty good. But the ones you played for me earlier were really incredible, very articulate.
Well, do you have one of my name?
I kind of remember that, but go ahead with the story.
No, I mean, I sent you a clip of one that said my name.
Oh, okay. I must have missed that, or
and
it
then
wasn't.
I want to say it was in the last one.
It was in the last bunch I sent you.
Okay.
And that's what I was talking about. They definitely have confirmed that they knew who I am, because you clearly as well hear Michelle. It was a good one.
Okay. Well, let's try this one. And this is again with me in there with them.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. I do appreciate that. All right. Okay, I think someone here is playing with me more than anything else. I'm starting to think you're just a little bit on the contrary side. Okay. Well, thank you for flashing a light for me, at least.
Yeah, they are, I don't know what to say, stubborn, but polite. Like I said, all right, you're being contrary. Yep, boom, one flat. And when I said, okay, would you stop so I can ask you questions? Stops. Great. Now, and then it comes back on again.
Mm-hmm.
Are those ghosts always that way, or is it just me?
It's not like that all the time.
Not all the time.
No.
They can get sassy with you sometimes.
And we also, Kimberly made a good point when you were talking about your cameras dying and things like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because you're law enforcement.
We do see an uptick in activity with people who were or are involved in law enforcement.
Yeah, you're not the first one we've had come in, and
Okay.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think we mentioned in the video, you could hear me say I had a gun and a badge on because I was an officer.
Right.
And I've noticed that myself. Some spirits, some will not talk to me at all. Others will really wants to talk to me. Fox Theater, they wanted to confess. And it's hard to get a confession out of someone with yes or no answers. But boy, I got awesome video from that. The other thing I was going to bring up is one of the first lessons that I learned in ghost hunting is, and I used it there, in fact, I can talk and try and get them to do something, ask them to do this or that, ask them questions. And then I noticed whenever two of us would start talking amongst ourselves and ignoring them, then the action would start.
Yep.
Ghosts are jealous. Has that happened to you all?
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
A lot of there's several clips I sent to you of things talking over you or talking over us while we were having conversations. So.
Yeah, I think I've got one of those on here somewhere. Yeah, I'm talking and you can hear the EVP. It's hard to understand, but
you can hear something. You can hear something back there.
There's a voice talking over me. That's true. All right, let's try this one.
Should we put it in the bin with a
I would say that's where you have the most effect.
Can I sit down with you for just a minute? Look, it went off.
Yes, definitely yes.
Okay, I'm going to have a seat with you. Kimberly, did you see where this happened?
No.
I said, can I sit down and have a seat with you for just a minute? And it lit up.
Huh. Sit with them. I'll go under real quick.
Okay, we don't need to start that again. I had a round with them where they just kept turning it on every time before I could even ask a question.
Yeah, we played that one already too. I guess I accidentally put several of them up here twice. All right, let's check out this one.
Hearing what?
It almost sounds like the rain, but it also kind of sounds like creaking, like crinkling paper.
Shine your light in the balcony, right in the center section. Okay. Oh. Is that confirmation that I just seen you up there or someone up there? Because I seen a hump and then it disappeared. Ooh. Okay.
Who's that?
Me. Okay, the floor. It'd really help us if you'd make a loud noise like you typically do when we're in here. Can you do that for me? Okay. You seem to be responding good to me. Do you remember me? Okay. That's good. Have we communicated before? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
That was pretty incredible. So it just kept answering your questions. And you know, and I'll tell this for the people, on a dowsing session or something like this, if you get 5-6 minutes out of them, you're doing amazing, incredibly well. And this went on all night that way.
On and on and on, yes.
What, is it because they knew you? I mean, I'm sure there was extra energy in the atmosphere, but boy, that is a lot of energy.
I'm not sure, Dan, because like I said, typically it's not this full as I'm reviewing evidence. I could sit through 20 hours and only get that little bitty snippet of EVPs here and there. This is constant. I was trying to cut the video so it wasn't so long. I was trying to, you know, weed out the silent parts and just keep the good stuff, but they were still long. And I just have to tell you, where we're at now, we're going to have to get you to this location because as we're doing this podcast, we have a new device and we've got it sitting next to me. It's already been going off.
And what kind of device is that now?
It's actually a Boo Buddy. That's what Miss Kimberly got for her birthday.
Triggering device then.
Yes. So it's actually been going off and she was missing because we're hearing missing.
Around the room. I just went to see if somebody was on the balcony.
You know, I got to bring up the fact that the next collection of these videos, because you had a team that paid to come in after we did that, and they were there for what, an hour and a half, and nothing. We didn't get nothing. It was dead, pardon the pun. Nothing going on until all of a sudden they started lighting up that road like it flashed.
Yep.
It flashed brightly, and you know, now I'm thinking a ghost of a disco DJ has come in because it was that bright and continuous, and then it just stayed on.
Yep. We had to remove it from the room.
We removed it from the room, we took the batteries out, put them back in, it worked fine.
Yep.
Brought it back into the courtroom, and within a few minutes it did it again.
Yep.
So there's so much more to this, guys, I'm telling you, but there's so much more to that place.
There is.
So much interesting things going on there. And I appreciate you all inviting me in. I was really amazed by it all. Let me try this video, see if it's one I've already shown.
Are you still in here with me? You've been talking to Dan? You've been talking to Dan? You've been talking to Dan? You've been talking to Dan?
Well, Dan's doing most of the talking, but they have responded several times.
Are you still in here with me? You've been talking to Dan? 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 Are you still in here with me? You've been talking to Dan? You've been talking to Dan? You've been talking to Dan?
Are you hearing the same thing I am, that it's repeating my name?
After you put that on the screen, yes. And those light whispers are so hard to determine what they're saying. But once you hear something and you know that's what it's saying, yes.
Well, and I was going to ask, do they mock you often like that? Because that's how I take it, is they were being a little mocking.
No.
No?
They don't really do that often.
Not typically.
We've gotten sometimes that they will repeat exactly what we say, but that's
okay.
Yeah.
So you don't think they were mocking? They were just saying they were talking to me, basically.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And do you have an idea which spirit that one is?
There's so many over there. There's not really much telling.
No, because with the main one, whose name is Dawn, it didn't. Usually, you can tell when it's him, and those didn't seem like it was him.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Let me try one more. I think I may have just be another one that I've double hit, but let me check.
Hearing what?
It almost sounds like the rain, but it also kind of sounds like creaking, like crinkling paper.
Shine your light in the balcony, right in the center section. Okay. Oh. Is that confirmation that I just seen you up there or someone up there? Because I seen a hump and then it disappeared. Ooh. Okay.
Who's that?
Me. Okay, the floor. It'd really help us if you'd make a loud noise like you typically do when we're in here. Can you do that for me? Okay. You seem to be responding good to me. Do you remember me? Okay. That's good. Have we communicated before? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy.
I cannot get over how often they answered you, just like they were trying to have a conversation.
Yeah, and that's something that's kind of newer, but it did happen on the live stream we did with the group of people. It was either the day before you or the day after you. I can't recall.
Day after. I was on Friday, and you did a live stream on Saturday with some people.
It was some nurses from Forsyth Hospital, and I had the flashlights doing that. Responded to me just like that cat ball did.
Well, it sounds like they're comfortable with you.
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
So you are gonna do some public ghost hunts coming up in September and October, right?
We are in the middle of scheduling those now. Our plan is to
Have a couple in October.
have a couple in October. And is it a good time to mention the giveaway one?
Somebody's downstairs slamming stuff.
Somebody's slamming something downstairs.
Or you shook the floor.
Sounds like they want attention.
We will be, stay tuned, because we will be doing a couple of giveaways for some private investigations.
Okay.
At the event we'll be at this Saturday, we are going to sell some raffle tickets, and that will be one of the prizes.
Okay. So right at the moment, you don't know where or when. Is Markham going to be coming back up?
So I actually just visited Babe Meekum. I'm supposed to put a video out today. I'll hop on it as soon as we wrap up here, but it's actually in the midst of being renovated.
So there's no chance of getting back in there anytime
Not this
soon.
year. It's projected for the end of 2026. As of right now, all of those outer buildings that we saw when we were there are all gone.
Oh, they were neat
It's
looking.
sad.
Yeah.
But the hotel has actually been completely gutted.
Okay.
The outer shell is still there, of course, but it's right in the middle of being renovated. So
Wouldn't this be the time to be in there?
Say that again. I'm sorry.
This would be the right time to go in there with
Yes.
change going on because they hate that.
We tried. We attempted.
I tried to bargain with the ranger
See,
up there.
you
It's
haven't-
like, no.
You haven't heard the evidence from the night we were there with you either. So.
Well, I sent you a couple of EVPs I got, which was pretty good, but no, I haven't heard what you all had yet.
No, there's
one really good one.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, I look forward to hearing that one. All right, so you all have Stokes County Paranormal, and you've got plans. People need to be able to find out more. Facebook would be the right place, correct?
Yep. Go follow us on
Okay.
Facebook. We're almost to 2,000 followers, so
We're like 10 people away.
10 people away. So go click follow and.
All right, well, folks, you heard. Get on here and you got a lot of evidence on there also as well.
We do. If you have some free time, just want to go watch our live stream about 2 weeks ago here at the Arts Place. Has some crazy interaction with a cat ball in the music box. So,
As
yeah.
well as some voices. A couple people on stream caught voices.
So we like to put our camera where the live stream audience can see the stuff, but we can't. So we were actually in a different part of the room, and they're watching the cat ball go off, and we have no idea.
That sounds like fun. All right, so Stokes County Paranormal, Michelle and Kim, thanks for coming back. We need to do that again real soon.
Dan, we may have somewhere else for you coming up.
Yeah.
Okay.
That I think you'll enjoy.
I had the opportunity, and I think I told you about it. I called or texted you about it, to the old police station in Pilot Mountain. But it hit right in the middle of the winter, and then a new company moved in. But if I get the chance again, I will let you know, because I'd like to have you guys there. 3 police officers died in the line of duty in the 60s, and one was killed there. We contacted him during a tour.
Okay.
And a former police chief died in the apartments upstairs after it was, when it was apartments. So a lot of action inside there. I just got to take time to let them get to know me.
Yep.
So, all right. Well, guys, again, thanks for coming on. Your evidence is amazing. And I'll let you know as soon as this is ready to air, okay?
All right. Thanks a lot, Dan.
We'll get you over 2,000 before you know it.
Thanks, Dan.
All right. Thanks for being back, and I will talk to you soon. Take care.
All right.
All right. See ya.
I love those two. We have so much fun. And, well, you saw it's like the teams I used to run with back in Missouri. We just get to a point where we do our thing, and when it works, everyone plays off each other, knows what's going on. They are some top-notch investigators, and I respect them both. So, aside from that, I do want to let you guys know the XCon is coming, and you can get more information on that if you join up to the UNX Network. Go to unxnetwork.com. Drop down on the main screen a little. There's a place there for you to put your information in. We don't sell it to anyone. And for that, you get so much other neat stuff. I know we've got the magazines, for one thing. That is emailed to you once a month. And they're really good. They got some great writers from all over the paranormal field. Each issue's got its own topic. This one here, I wrote about the battleship North Carolina, the hauntings there. Plus, I had an article on legends of Halloween. And by that, I mean, when I was a kid, the police would even come to the schools to tell us, be careful. There's rumors that a cult is kidnapping blonde-haired, blue-eyed children for sacrifice or whatever. There was the stories of razor blades and apples and poison in the candy. And I tracked each one of those legends back and a few more. And we talked about where they come from and why it was a little overblown. The Sun over here is all about time travel. I recently had articles in 2 magazines. One was Vampires in America, and then Vampires in America more recently, especially in New Orleans. So there's a lot of articles, a lot of good stuff. If you're into conspiracy, I had a good one on that. Actually, I've had about 3 in there. So much, you get access to the blog, and the blog, guys, is blowing up. I know about 2 weeks ago, there was a Mothman sighting over the Mississippi River. There's those cube-shaped UFOs that kind of look like the Borg cube from Star Trek, being seen all around the world. There's Bigfoot sightings. There's just the blog's going crazy. There was a case about 6-8 months ago of a Mothman reportedly trying to break into the 8th floor of a hotel in Las Vegas. All kinds of stuff going on. And of course, aside from that, you get the newsletter with a lot of good information, all free. So why aren't you joining? That's what I want to leave you with. And if you all will excuse me, I'm going to go ahead and back out of here. But I think the important thing, the thing I want you all to keep in mind is to stay safe. Remember, Halloween is almost here, so watch out. Watch out for the little kids when it's time. And I guess most important of all is stay spooked. Good night.